Hello, Mr. Gigabytes here, and today we're going to be playing some Vic 20 games. Now that I've got the Vic 20 all set up and ready to go with a power supply and everything, we can play some of these games that I unboxed in the Unboxing 3 video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. The first two that we're going to do are simply RAM cartridges. These are RAM expanders, and we're just looking at the only thing they really do is add RAM to the system. So you've got 6655 bytes free rather than the 3000K on there. And this one's a third-party cartridge. It's only adds 3K to the unit, as does the Super Expander, and they both pretty much do the same thing. They add slightly different levels, but the Super Expander is a Commodore product. Actually comes in the Commodore cartridge, and many of you have seen these before. But we're just going to turn it on and watch for how much RAM we get and see how this is 6519 as opposed to the 6655 of the third-party cartridge. Pretty simple devices there. So we're going to move on to the Pac-Man clone, which is Cosmic Cruncher. And this took me a little while to get the keyboard controls working, because it's not the WASD that we're pretty familiar with. And as you can see, I've got I'm using different letters on the keyboard to control the unit. After a little bit of that, I decided, well, that's enough of that. I think maybe I should get the Starfighter joystick that I also got with the unit, and
see if that works.
Went ahead and hooked that up.
Apparently I'm not it's P,
and these Starfighter joysticks are pretty much
L
just your standard 9-pin analog joystick, one button.
left bracket,
I've got a couple of other analog joysticks that I have not shown on any videos yet. I'm sure they'll be forthcoming as well.
Let's see if we can.
But on the Vic 20, there's only one 9-pin port, so I went ahead and sat down and got comfy, and this provided a much better result. The control was so much better.
It's working a lot better.
I used to have an Atari 2600 that I played Pac-Man on a lot. I bought it at a garage sale when I was a teenager, and that was one of the games, one of the few games that it came with right away. And so this was a lot more comfortable playing it this way, although I'm not doing spectacularly well.
Let's see what the home babysitter is all about.
This one is the virtual babysitter. One of the ones that I unboxed, and it has a couple of different games. This one here just makes some funny faces. It's not a terribly sophisticated program. I guess it's supposed to keep toddlers entertained. That's really all it does. The next one is a kind of a counting game. You count the number of deals you see on the screen, whatever the shape is. Press enter. So there's 4 here, enter, so on and so forth. Get a little smiley face and it beeps. I just went ahead and put one in wrong once just to see what would happen. You get a frowny face, get to try again. I just continued on until the game completed. Well, again, not terribly sophisticated. Basically just for counting. And then it starts over again once you fill up everything with happy faces. This one, all it does is it goes through and goes through the alphabet with these block letters. Next one is Vic Avenger. This is the Space Invaders clone. And I'm going to show you again why I'm not much of a gamer. This also has keyboard controls, but of course I use the joystick. Much more comfortable. As you can see, it's pretty much a Space Invaders clone at that point. So. And I died pretty much right away. Next one is Gorf. I'm told many hours were wasted by several people playing this game, and this to me was very similar, kind of a Space Invaders clone, just a different way to do it, different take on it. So you can shoot up through your shield, and you don't actually diminish the shield, but when you fire, you actually have to let the bullet get there, otherwise it'll refresh and start the firing sequence over again before the bullet makes it to your mark. So but that is Gorf. This is Impossible Mission. It still has some of the wrap on it from the store and the price tag. This is a text-based game, and if it didn't have the manual, I'm not sure that I would have figured out how to get through it, because you have to type a sys command in order to get it started, which I thought was a little unusual for a cartridge game. Most of the cartridge games I've ever used, of course, just automatically start and run. And that's true for this one and the next title I'm about to show you. But really, there isn't a lot to show on these games. It's simply a text-based adventure.
I'm in a briefing room, large tape recorder, west.
I was never very good at the text-based adventures.
Mission Impossible by Scott Adams. Dedicated to Agent Adams.
In fact, on this one, I did have to read the manual a little bit.
By the way, I seem to be carrying something. What shall I do?
There's Voodoo Castle. It's also a text-based adventure, so we're just going to skip ahead to Midnight Drive. Now, Midnight Drive is one that the cartridge is actually labeled different than the box. I'm not sure if the boxes got mixed up or if the cartridge was actually or if that was something that came from the factory like that. But this sure does look like it would be a title called Midnight Drive. And you shift with the F keys, you drive with the keyboard. Takes a little bit to get the hang of. Of course, once you go off course, the game's over. Mole Attack, pretty much what is advertised on the box. It is a game of whack-a-mole, and there is these keyboard controls that you press to whack each of the moles as they come up. And of course, there are moles, and there are also bombs. Bombs take away points, moles add points depending on how high they are. And this took a little getting used to as well. It almost seems like this would have been a great thing for like a typing tutor. But not a very sophisticated game. Very playable, but and kind of fun. I eventually just didn't bother with the rest of the keyboard, just went for the middle row. This was Raid on Fort Knox, and this was and this is the last game. This actually had some wrapping on it, which I was really surprised. It had been taken out, but it was it had wrapping in it, wrapping on it, I should say. And this is kind of a cat and mouse kind of a game. You have to go into the vault without getting caught by the little security guard thing going there. You pick up the money and you run away from the security guard and you get it back to the outside, and you do this over and over and over again till all the money is gone. This took a little bit of figuring out as well. I didn't get the concept of the game right away. And there is a time limit, so you want to get it all out of there before time runs out. you can't advance to the next level until all the money is back. And the last bag of cash here. And that's it. And as the levels increase, you get more guards, so on and so forth. Things get a little faster. But you get the idea. And so those are the games for the Vic 20 that I got, all in boxes with manuals and everything. So hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.